I'm such an idiot. I'm actually a lesbian.
That caught me love. I just can't handle it. That caught me love. Her band just sounds like shit and she's ugly. Crazy little Courtney Love. That caught me love. We'll fight. She's a criminal type. She flips you off. Stinks all over. Got the smelly pits. We don't like it. Crazy little Courtney Love. She had Kurt's baby. Just call her band butthole. She drives me crazy. Can't hit the high notes either. She thinks she is a cuckoo slut.
Oh.
Got plastic boobs.
I just can't stand that
slut. Red lips. And her arms have Trax. She's a bad seed. That's right. Take a long hike, cause we just don't like kind of frightening. Crazy little Courtney Love.
You ignorant slut.
10:07 at WID. Happy Tuesday to you. Here we are. We had quite a finish to the day yesterday. And I really don't know whether to go into it on the air or not, but I guess I probably will eventually. We don't want to talk about that contretemps with Defoe in a hallway. Defoe went about 2 or 3 rounds with Phil Henry in the hall, and then I guess stood around waiting for me to get off the air. And see, one thing about me, when it comes 2 o'clock, generally I got a routine here, and that is for like about a minute or two, I schmooze with Phil Henry and find out, what's going on. And then I zip out that door, baby, and I'm gone like a bat out of hell. Which is a real good philosophy, no matter where you work. When it's time to leave, don't linger any longer than you have to, okay? Don't linger around, don't hang around, don't schmooze, don't get yourself into a lot of trouble. Just make a beeline out the door. So yesterday, unfortunately, the way out the door from here, it goes by the little sports booth in there, the sports closet. And Defoe was standing there yesterday after getting Phil Henry justifiably very upset about minimizing Phil's, pretty decent book. And talking about that 6 o'clock hour and the 5 o'clock hour, and the Hummer did this and this one did that. And it always amazes me that these sports guys take themselves so seriously. It just astonishes me. And so at 2:15, I'm still standing there listening to this man rambling on and trying to straighten his ass out. And then at 2:30, I'm still standing there. And people are like wandering up and down the hallway, various and sundry people, looking at this conversation going on. Not like screaming and yelling, but a little bit on the animated side. And then, like 2:45, I'm still standing there. And 3 o'clock, I finally managed to end the conversation. And guess what? He wasn't ready to end the conversation. But, I mean, at that point, I had wasted an hour of my life. I told some people this morning I could have spent a better hour on my hands and knees puking on the toilet bowl, would have been more productive than standing there arguing with Jeff DeForest about how great the sports talk show is and what a brilliant job they did in the book and how he beat the Hummer's ass and yada, yada, yada. It was the most incredible waste of my time in the history of mankind. And guess what, Defoe? I still don't like the monologues. See, I don't try to tell anybody how to run their show. I don't try to tell anybody how to run their life, how to run their show. I do express my opinions, though, and some people don't like them. Tough crap. Too bad. That's my opinion. But at least I don't single the Defoe out. I think that most of the sports shows, I think that all of the sports shows in this town are pretty weak because most of them are one-dimensional, and they let the callers kind of engineer the way things go. It's always either the Dolphins and the Canes, which nobody cares about the Canes anymore because they lost a couple of games. So it's the Dolphins this and the Dolphins that, and now the Heat pulled out a game last night, so somebody might mention that Pat Riley's a genius, but I doubt it. And other than that, there's nothing else on. And I also suggested that they not even make any reference to hockey because they don't go to any games. And then Defoe went through a long song and a dance about how he couldn't show up because he's on the air till 8 o'clock till about 8:30. And I said, well, that's only the start of the second period. Lots of the paid fans are still coming in the middle of the second period. Well, he just has an aversion to coming in the second period. I said, look, why don't you face it? You guys know nothing about it. At which point he proceeded to tell me that Mandich has gone to several hockey games. He has? When was that? When was this? What planet are we living on, okay? And speaking of hockey games, how about those Panthers last night? Oh! Everybody's ready for them to fold up like an accordion. Everybody's saying they were just a flash in the pan. And meantime, here they go. Another big tie. They almost won the damn thing, but brilliant goaltending by the Beezer and Hextall again last night. And Panthers are right there. A tie ain't all that bad. And as I look at the standings, they're right there with 61 points. And sure, the Rangers got 66, but guess what? The Rangers have played 48 And the Panthers have played 45. We still got 3 games in hand on them, including the win at Washington tonight. And I'm going to say it again. What a sad commentary. I was watching a really incredible game last night. Pittsburgh beating Boston 7-6 in overtime. All you Bruins fans out there will pass you the knife, okay? Twice the Penguins blew a 2-goal lead. Bruins are ahead 6-4 in the third period, okay? Penguins are doing nothing. In the last 52 seconds, the Penguins scored twice to tie up the game and send it in overtime. Then we go into overtime. The Bruins are all over the Penguins like stink on Defoe. I mean, it was just incredible. And then the Penguins get a penalty, which is almost never called, but Dvorsky calls a penalty against Pittsburgh. And now the Bruins are just all over. They're coming within a millionth of an inch of scoring the winning goal in overtime. The Penguins have never gotten the puck across center ice in the overtime so far. Now, all of a sudden, Boston's on the power play, and Mario Lemieux tips that pass away there at the blue line, races out on a breakaway, goes down, puts it in the top of the net, and scores the winning goal 7-6. What an incredible night, Mario. Incredible. Now, that was a game. But unfortunately, we couldn't see that brilliant game with the Panthers and Flyers, that very exciting, obviously, game that ended in a 1-1 overtime tie because Sunshine and Channel 33 decided, I guess, that wasn't a game that's worth adding to the schedule, and you're not going to see it. So I did hear the last 2 minutes. I was able to handle 2 minutes of Chris Moore, which is about my maximum. But nice going, guys, okay? They're still doing it. They're not falling apart. They're not going to fall apart. And after we do the break, I've got maybe the greatest rumor of the day, which looks pretty good for the Panthers. And you heard it here, maybe not first, but you heard it here, and I believe it. At this point, I'm beginning to believe it. It may be wishful thinking, but I think this could be true. 10:13 at WIOD.
We just kind of got a little naughty in the parking lot of a church. See, our mission is like we drive around and look for the most obscure places to have sex.
Passion Phones, 8 p.m. till midnight on News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
I just can't stand that slut.
Okay, 10:16 at WIOD. So anyway, I'll get to the Panther thing in just a second. First, I want to mention it's with deep regret that I announced. I guess he announced it yesterday. Of course, with Phil, you never know if he's serious or joking. But the Phil Henry trip to Ireland is off. The Phil Henry trip to Ireland is off. They got like 6 people to sign up to go on that. Our trip to Vegas is still on, and we're not doing all that great. What do we got, about 110? But we have a good excuse, and that is the first 2 years. It's kind of called attrition is what it's called. It's kind of like our audience. They die off, they fly away, they run like a bat out of hell. They can't take it anymore. But the trip to Vegas is very much on April 18th through the 21st. Call Rocky at Regal Travel. Get yourself on board, as they say. In Data Broward, 445-7740. From Palm Beach, 989-8888. And we're going to be staying 3 days and 3 nights at the MGM Grand. We're flying like a real airline, American commercial jets from Fort Lauderdale into Miami. It's $599 per person for double. And you got till February 29th to pay the whole amount in. So you still got like over a month to come up with the cash. So at least get a deposit in there and get on the thing, because we still have like 90 seats. We had 200 seats to start with. We got over 110 now, what? More than that? 111? No, seriously, do we have an update or what? Or that's the latest story?
That's the latest.
Okay, over 110. That's not too bad considering the nightmares that we were put through the first 2 years by somebody else. But anyway, if you do want to go, call Rocky in the next couple of days and let's get with it, okay? But the Phil Henry thing is disturbing. Now, it was a very high-ticket thing, no question about that. Also, it's at a bad time of the year when it's colder than hell over there. And thirdly, who the hell wants to go to Ireland for a week anyway? Right, Phil? But, I see these things are deflating. That's why when Defoe came up with that phone call yesterday. Now, let me just ask you this. When I was in here with a book, the whole rating book came in yesterday. They always give me a copy of it because I know how to read it. And in the middle of a spot, Rick Riley's doing a spot. I interrupted him in the middle as I'm looking through this book, and I said, Defoe beat the Hummer in the 6 o'clock hour. Remember that? 2-4 to a 2-1. And, of course, at that time, I didn't realize men 25 to 54 was 4-7 to a 3-7. Which is, okay. But even so, those are not, in other words, when you got a 2-4, 12 plus, I don't care how you break it down, it doesn't translate to any, no matter what demographic it is, it's not going to be a giant number. These sports guys just don't understand that the sports audience, in other words, if all I ever talked about was sports, which thank God it's not, but if that's all I ever talked about, we wouldn't be doing all that great. Right? And then Defoe looks at me and says, well, you can talk about anything and the audience will respond to you. Right. Like they do every day here in this first hour, when it's like talking to my goddamn parakeet if I had one. Which they don't. But anyway, so Phil, did, for example, his first hour in this book, he did very, very well with a 4-1 share, 12 plus. And let's see, 2 o'clock in men, 25 to 54, he's got an 8-3. At 3 o'clock, he's got a 7. Now, that's not on a sports show. That's like on an entertainment show, and it's still 25 to 54 doing 7 and 8s there. How you doing, Defoe? See, I get nervous when sports guys try to, like, compare themselves to other people. See, to me, Phil Henry deserves to be frustrated because I shouldn't be saying this because now I sound like Rick Riley. I don't want to get him depressed. But the man works like a son of a bitch on that show. He works for hours coming up with different and creative and wild and wacky things. He's just amazing. And yet this town, which is so slow to accept anybody, he's got a battle on his hands. The fact that Hank is even competing with him in any hour is an infamia. It's a disgrace. It's a sham. Because there's nothing on that Hummer show that you're going to learn except what the same point spread that you can read in the newspaper on a goddamn Super Bowl. That's about it. But there's just something about this town, man. It's hard to crack them. It's hard to break through. This town, it's hard to crack through. They got a crack problem in this town is what I think this town's all about. To make the big breakthrough. It is tougher than nails. So, Defoe, just continue doing whatever it is you're doing. If you're going to keep doing the cliches and the monologues, that's up to you. I'm not telling you how to do your show. I don't like that. I do love, by the way, which I told him in the hall, but he looked at me kind of nonplussed. I do love Thursday when they got Rubin and Hyde on there, which to me is one of the great sports shows ever been on the radio, maybe the best ever in this town. That's a great thing. You know why? Because there are people actually giving opinions and saying something, as opposed to just having Manwich on there kissing Don Shula's ass and kissing Brian Cox's parts and doing stuff like that. That stuff, I think, is not productive. There's no credibility there. The Manwich Meister don't have any credibility when it comes to football with the Dolphins because he's a shill. He is a consummate shill. And I also articulated these things in the hallway during that hour of rambling and ranting and wasting my time, and it didn't sink in. I don't think there's, where there's no sense, there's no feeling. Defoe, it's not personal, it's business. I even told him that in the hallway again yesterday. He never stole a freight train. He's an okay guy. It's not personal, it's business. That's it. But don't put yourself in the same league with Phil Henry, because that makes me very angry. That's what Michael told Carlo. You know what I'm saying? And I got Luca Brazzi waiting for you in a car outside, Defoe, for a trip to Vegas. You like going to Vegas. Luca's out there waiting in a goddamn car with Clemenza. So anyway, about that arena. Oh, we got to do another break first? Okay, when we come back, I promise I'm going to tell you what I heard yesterday, and it was not from Jeff Rimmer, so it might actually be true. It was from a fairly credible source, and it looks like some good things are going to happen, like very, very soon, like maybe tomorrow. 10:21. So we got two things to look forward to tomorrow. Maybe a really good thing happening, an announcement, and then also maybe the OJ thing tomorrow night. Any of you watch the OJ thing on the Black Entertainment Network tomorrow night? I don't want to start making threats, okay? But that's why Rick was taking numbers this morning. We will come to your house and blow you away and everybody in the house if you're watching that OJ thing tomorrow night. Can you imagine anybody in their right mind at this stage of the game that wants to watch another puff piece? In fact, the way it was promoted on the news last night, and there's all different kind of stories on what it's going to be, is that he's going to be on there to hawk his $29.95 video. That's what it's really all about. And, of course, he's picked BET, the Black Entertainment Network, because he knows he's going to get nothing but sympathy and a lot of marshmallows. Even Larry King never tossed as many marshmallows as he's going to see there tomorrow night.
Did you hear the thing with the guys? They were talking to the guys who were going to interview him, and they said, oh, no, we were not precluded from asking him any questions. We were just told which questions he wouldn't answer.
Right. In other words, they've basically laid it out. This is what I'm going to say, and this is what you can ask. And, by the way, don't forget to mention that video a lot. Now, that's really great. And I heard that Caribbean guy, whatever the hell origin he is, that called Rick about 9 o'clock this morning. I get so angry when I hear people like that. These professional ethnics. I have never, ever heard one Jew defend Bugsy Siegel or Meyer Lansky. I never heard one faggot defend John Wayne Gacy or Jeffrey Dahmer. And yet if a black guy goes out there and commits a violent crime, and this guy also said he was sure that he did it, but he's still defending it because it's a racial thing. I'm sorry, brother, but you're going to have to, outgrow that someday, or you're going to be doing that step and fetch it routine the rest of your life till they stick your ass in the ground. You got to transcend that. You know, Barbara Jordan died the other day. Barbara Jordan, to me, was one of the most brilliant people who ever lived on the face of this earth. I loved Barbara Jordan. I would vote 40 times for Barbara Jordan if she could be alive and running for president, because she's heads and shoulders above all these other hack politicians. So if you want to admire somebody who was black, somebody who was brilliant, somebody who had a brain, somebody who accomplished something in her lifetime, admire Barbara Jordan, not Deion Sanders, not O.J. Simpson, not Gary Sheffield, not Sammy Smith. Oh, Sammy's okay? 1023 at WIOD, you know.
News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
So Cheryl's in here hawking at Chinik about going to the hockey game when a break runs out, and I'm trying to do a radio show, and she's hawking at Chinik, okay? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Cheryl, you just seem to have that effect on everybody, sweetheart. Especially Jews. That's what the judge said. In fact, when I had that trial that time, when I was leaving WNWS going to INZ, and the Judge Rifkin was my judge. He was a good guy. I said, this little Jew guy wins, he can go back to work. And I said, by the way, you're married to Cheryl, aren't you? He went, like that. So I guess you have that effect on everybody. Don't take it personal, though, unless you want to. So anyway, the story is that I'm hearing is that tomorrow, the group that the Broward County people hired to do the study, the feasibility study on the crunch the numbers on the arena and all this, and on the tax, the hotel tax, they're going to make their report and say that it's feasible, that the money can be raised, and yada, 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 and they can do this very easily with no pain, no strain, and they can raise the 185 or 177 million, I think it is, whatever the number is. And they're going to recommend that the county go ahead and do it. And then the Broward County commissioners, allegedly like the next day, which would be Thursday, are going to have an emergency meeting and at that time approve the construction of the new arena, at which time, of course, it would appear that the Panthers probably would stay here, even with Wayne still owning them. Because at that point, he'd have no reason to have to sell them because we're going to have the arena. Are you following that? Do you believe that? That's the obvious question. Do I believe it? Well, I don't know, but I'm hoping. Because it sounds like the first sensible thing I've heard. And now, of course, it's also interesting that the various sites, like the Sawgrass people had that pole that they propped on everybody yesterday, which, of course, the Sawgrass makes the most sense to build it there because I live there and it's easy for me to get there. And then number two, the one up at Pompano Park with all that land they got adjacent to the track. I saw Ted Snell on the news last night hawking at Chinik about that and how they're very anxious to try to get the arena built there. So now it's starting to look like something might happen here. Wouldn't that be a major miracle, huh? Would that be major or what?
Yes!
You can say that again. So that's my rumor of the day, and like I said, I hope to hell it's true. 1028 at WIOD. Here's Miami. Hello? Miami?
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Neil, I've never been to a hockey game, and I'm going Saturday
Yeah?
to the Buffalo game.
Yeah?
And I got tickets through Ticketmaster in row U in the upper deck.
Yeah.
Do they allow you in that arena to move down to empty seats during the game?
Or
is it like JRS?
You know what that's like doing? It's like calling up the IRS and asking them, would you allow me to cheat a little bit on my taxes? Do you know what I'm saying? Why would you ask me a question like that?
Well, I just wondered if it's like JRS where they...
See, you must have read that Ray Wretched column in the Sun Sentinel this morning about everybody being honest. I'd rather read a column about people cheating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just do it discreetly like everybody else does. Wait a reasonable amount, and then when all the ushers are sleeping by the middle of the second period, just go wherever you want.
Okay, thanks.
That's the way to do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, trace the call, find out his name, and we'll be watching him at the game, okay? 2 open lines in Dade, 751 WIOD, the AT&T wireless and Mobile One cellular line. Is now we got to say that every time now? Is that the deal? The AT&T wireless and Mobile One cellular line, the purple line, whatever you want to call it, for all you mobile people is open. Pound IOD and 2 on the green lines. Okay, 1-800-944-9463. Look at the excitement and the enthusiasm on this arena thing. And let me say it again: this black entertainment thing with OJ tomorrow night. It's too bad that they couldn't have done it tonight. Right opposite two important things that are going on, the President's State of the Union address and the more important thing, the Panthers at Washington, okay? It would be real interesting to find out how many people with those two other options would still watch the OJ crap on black entertainment, which is on all the cable systems, I guess. And there will be those people who will be watching that tomorrow. Is that a sad comment? I guarantee I won't. No way, Jose. Let's see. The Leafs are playing Chicago tomorrow night. There's all kinds of games on. There's the track tomorrow. There's all kinds of options, okay? Watching OJ on black entertainment television is not an option for this kid. No way, Jose. I don't want to hear from him. All I want to hear is when they finally start getting the testimony from the civil suit out, which Fred Goldman yesterday said there were some interesting things, but of course we don't know what they were yet. That's what I want to start hearing. I want to start hearing reports of how they nail him to a cross somewhere and burn his guilty ass. That's what I want to start seeing. Here's Margate. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing, man?
Okay, sir.
I'm a New York Ranger fan. I know you don't like that.
No, I don't.
But, you know, I love the Mets.
Yeah.
And I like the New York Giants.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got it made all the way around.
Well, you know, everybody else sucks.
Yeah. And?
But how you doing, man? I haven't heard from you in a long time. I used to call you up all the time. I go to Pompano Track, too.
Yeah.
I met you a couple of times up there.
Yeah.
With Gary Seibel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this? This isn't Mitchell, is it?
No, this is Tommy.
Oh, Tommy. You sound just like Mitchell's boyfriend or something.
Oh, I don't got no boyfriend.
Yeah, I bet.
And I don't have no girlfriend either.
I'm sure of that. Well, listen, Phil has got this special now on dead bodies. Couldn't have said it better myself. Give him Quasimodo's home phone number, okay? Maybe Esmeralda, both of them. So we have an open line at Dade, 751. That's our first call of the day from a real moron, okay? He's from New York. Go back where you came from, okay? All you foreigners like you New Yorkers, go back where the hell you came from already. Where are we going? We're going to, now see, here you do this with me again today. This is 2 in a row.
He's got a good phone this time.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, finger man.
Listen, I tried to call you several days ago, but I have problem with my phone.
You had a problem, yeah. I think you still had your finger in it.
No, I called you to say you Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year to you. It's only the 23rd of Enero. It's only a little bit late, but that's okay. Better late than never.
No, what I tried, but there was.
I couldn't figure out what you were saying the other day. It was all screwed up.
What? Everybody wanted to,
Yeah,
to call you, to be with you.
Well, listen, I think you ought to make a New Year's resolution, finger man, and that is during 1996, keep your finger out of your
rectum.
Would be a real good idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And tell the priest the same thing.
I wearing gloves now.
Yeah, that's good.
That way I get used not to put my finger where...
Beautiful. That's great. That's a good move in the right direction.
Okay, have a nice finger. I mean, a nice year.
Okay.
Okay.
And back to you. And say hi to Rutger Howard, too. Okay, that's Fingerman. We have an open line in Dade, 751. We got one in Broward. I can see it's going to be a swell 4 hours today, boys and girls. But I don't care because I got the 25 to 54 numbers here, men, hour by hour. I can read all of those, and I can sit here and gloat like Defo is doing. And guess what, Defo? Mine's a lot bigger than yours is. My number, anyway. Look at those 4 hours. Men, 25 to 54, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 9.3, 10.5, 9.8, 9.3. Oh! It's pretty goddamn impressive to me since there ain't anybody else in the market at any hour of any time doing as much even as a 9 share, okay? How do you like that, Howie? How do you like that, everybody? I'll stand around in the hallway until I find somebody that wants to hear about it. I'll stand there and read these numbers off and tell you how great I am. Okay, Defo? I'm serious. That episode yesterday, I don't know if the man's going through change of life or what it is. You don't have to convince me, okay? I want you to beat the Hummer. I can't stand a Hummer. I can't stand QAM. That station makes me sick to my stomach. In addition to which, now that the Hummer's got that new sidekick on there who also sounds like a 17-year-old pimply-faced retard, he'll take care of that himself for you. It's a no-brainer. Why do all these people bring these goddamn clowns in there, and over there they all sound like they were about 10 years old, sitting there to fill the gap. Just filling up a lot of idle time. Here's Lauderdale. No, wait a minute. What the hell happened to them? What's going on here on this phone now with Spastic, okay? Spastic is where it's at. Open line in Dade, 751, and as soon as George gets the hell off line 4, all those lines will be open in Broward, 5249463. Here's Miami. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Were you capable or were you able to read the paper concerning Mr. Heisenga's...
Was I capable of reading the paper?
I'm sorry, I meant were you able to...
No, I cannot read, sir.
I apologize for that.
Cannot read.
Were Mr. Wayne, the $1 million a year he was going to donate, the catch that they never said anything about? He wanted all the gross revenues on a yearly basis to go to him?
Yeah.
Did you read that?
No, I did not read that.
It's yesterday's or today's front page. He's willing to give him $1 million a year as long as he gets all the revenues.
So what's wrong with that?
All the revenues?
Sure, all the revenues. All the gross revenue. I can't think of anything grosser than that, can you? Hey, listen, you don't think this guy is Santa Claus anymore, do you?
No, it just takes me off the fact that they brought the gift that he was going to make 2 weeks ago. Nobody looked into it.
He ain't making no gift. He never gave anybody anything, okay? He ain't making no gift. The charity thing he did, that was nice window dressing, but, everybody needs charitable deductions. You know what I'm saying?
What was Hank's numbers in the afternoon, or what were?
What were his number with what? You want me to go down the whole thing hour by hour?
No, overall. I mean, how lousy was he?
He didn't have lousy. He did okay. He had the best numbers on QAM.
Well, that's not saying much,
That's not saying much, but he had the best numbers on QAM. Now,
did he break it too?
Sure he did. Men 25 to 54. Let's see. At 2 o'clock, Phil Henry's got an 8-3. Hank has got a 1-8. Or no, that's Lardass. The other Lardass. At 3 o'clock, Phil's got a 7. Hank's got a 2.9. At 4 o'clock, Phil's got a 6. Hank's got a 5.4 as he's eating more furiously and frantically. The audience is coming on board. At 5 o'clock, Hank beats Phil 5-5 to a 4-6, which is enough to make me sick to my stomach. And then Defo at 6 has a 4-7, and Hank goes back to a 3-7. So that one aberrant hour in there between 5 and 6 has convinced Defo that Defo is God, that Phil is slipping in his old age like the Don. And what can I tell you?
Well, Defo, he's a nice guy, but he's no Phil. Have a lovely day.
Very profound. Thank you, sir. He's no Phil. How do you like that, Defo? We don't want to knock you back down to size, okay? It's not personal. You're a good guy. How many times did I help this guy out? I came on his goddamn radio show to talk hockey because he didn't know much about it. He's still thinking about Eddie Jackman and Gump Worsley, okay? You can't live in the past forever. Didn't I go on that make-believe show of his on TCI on that Monday night that they picked me up in a limo and schlepped me over there into that very marginal neighborhood and then invited strange people to come running in there and get $100? Didn't give me no $100. Gave me like a certificate for like Hooters or someplace that I never would go to. By the way, the guys in Bennigan's, the waiters wear shorts. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having good-looking waiters in shorts? Is there something wrong with a place that faggots can go and look at a guy? Maybe a woman might be interested in going? What's wrong with that? We have an open line in Dade, 751-WIOD. Your enthusiasm here today is just contagious. I want to hear a lot of really paranoid people talking about OJ again here today, and I'm going to get really pissed off and psychotic. I want to hear from just one person that's going to watch that Drek on TV tomorrow night, and then I want to hear from one person that's going to go out there and buy that video February 1 when it comes out for sale like in 8 days from now. That'll be the biggest closet purchase in the history of mankind. By the way, speaking of closet purchases, we got another $200 in the mail today. $200, that's like 10. Isn't that exciting? So we're up to $143,522 for Center 1 now. We got 8 days left to come up with that last $6,478, whatever it is, to make $150,000. We're going to be at Borders in Kendall 1 to 3 this Saturday afternoon. 1 to 3 Kendall, that's just south of Dadeland. We're going to be there. Rick will be there. Phil will be there. Suds will be there. I'll be there. The Gatsa Mishpacha will be there. Fat Rich will probably be there because he lives right down there anyway, and he'll get some free food. But that's our last gasp. That's our last major thing. But in the meantime, I'm looking at the mail every day expecting this avalanche. Even Patrick Waugh never saw an avalanche like I'm waiting for to come in the mail. A flood of these $20 checks for Center 1 as a way of the audience saying, thanks, Neil, on your 20th anniversary for 20 years of coming in and puking your brains out in this goddamn town that's resistant to anything, that just doesn't want to play the goddamn game, that's as dead as a doornail. Thank you so much. Here's $1 a year. Even though we may not have listened all 20 years, we'll just throw it in there anyway because it's not for you, it's for a charity. And I'm still waiting for most of you to get off your dead ass. Make the check out to Center 1, $20. Some have done 40, some have done 60, one did 100. That's great. The more the merrier. Mail it to Neil Rogers, WIOD, Miami, 33141. All you need is the name of the call letters and the city with a zip code. That's pretty simple. Miami, 33141. You can't get any simpler than that. But most of you won't do it. Now, of course, if you already, bought your CDs and stuff like that, that's fine. But I know the overwhelming majority of you didn't do that either. And you know which crowd didn't really do it? And that's the older part of the audience, the closet audience that we have out there, as we discovered a few of them yesterday, which, believe me, I'm not asking you to call again because that was more than I could handle. But they're the closet ones out there. If we were still doing Camillo's house, I guarantee I'd have had a flood of those $20 checks in here. The mailman would have a triple hernia. He'd be doing a bypass operation right now on his goddamn groin from having a hernia bringing those bags of checks in here. But because it's for Center 1 and for people with AIDS, right away, well, we know where he's coming from. It's a fag thing, right? I feel sorry for you, okay? I feel real sorry for so many of you. 1039 at WIOD. Happy WIOD. As a matter of fact, did you see they're doing that thing now with Jupiter, with the planet Jupiter, and they got the little thing on there? Oh, and also the thing with the space shuttle. Did you see, was it on 60 Minutes on Sunday night? I think it was, where Leslie Stahl was talking to the parents, and then they had another feature on it yesterday. And the space shuttle was just murdered by Ronald Reagan because he was going to talk about it in his, the teacher on a shuttle, in his State of the Union address. And so, come hell or high water, or no matter the fact that there was all that ice on the thing and the O-rings, they knew were going to In fact, two of the engineers that worked on the project said they knew it was going to blow up. And, of course, not only that, but it didn't really blow up. When the explosion took place, all the components of the shuttle, separated and, went off in their own little directions. And so the capsule that the astronauts were in came hurtling down, crashing down to Earth, and they died a wicked, horrible death. In fact, wasn't Rick last week one day reading about the fact that they got the black box?
Right. They had the
and
script.
And the whole,
very chilling.
Jesus.
I got a tear.
Horrendous.
And they knew it on there, too. One of the astronauts was yelling, I told him.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So here was a human sacrifice by Ronald Reagan, which, of course, being the good religious guy that he is. But guess what? He forgot about it. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
I wanted to ask you, I've never been to the arena for a hockey game, but is it pretty good anywhere you sit? Or fairly good?
What do you mean, is it pretty good anywhere you sit? What does that mean? What kind of a question is that?
Well, I mean, how far away is the upper deck?
There's some seats that are, it's like any other sporting event. There's some seats that are better than others. The upper deck is not like 10 miles away. The upper deck, you still can see what's going on.
Unlike other places, in other arenas.
Like some other arenas where, like, are gigantic, and when you're sitting way, way up in the back, like in Tampa in that gigantic barn that they've got, if you're sitting way up in the back, you need a good pair of binoculars and a telescope and stuff like that.
Okay. Because a couple weeks
and Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, Huizinga was on ESPN radio on the weekend, and he was saying how terrible the arena was, and it's a terrible place to watch a hockey game.
No, it is not a terrible place to watch a hockey game. It's just too small, and they can't make any money there. It's not the arena. If you could just enlarge the arena, if you had a magic wand and you could just enlarge it, the arena would be perfect. I mean, a lot of people don't like the location because they're paranoid and psychotic, but the location isn't all that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in a bad area, but in terms of getting there, it's not hard to get to.
Yeah. So in terms of, if this was like 20 years ago, it would be a great arena. Smaller arenas, it's better. I'd rather see us.
Right. Right, I would agree with that.
Park,
and if it was 20 years ago, they could probably make money with it because they wouldn't be paying these salaries. But when the city of Miami built it, again, with no foresight, they said, let's build it smaller because we'll never be able to put 18 or 20,000 people in there. And if we build it that big with that many seats, it'll look empty all the time. So instead of having a little bit of foresight and planning ahead when the day would come that we actually had a basketball and a hockey team and wanted to put a lot of people in there and make some money, they build it smaller, which is their mentality here. Everything has to be smaller.
Not only that, it's what, they only have like 14 boxes?
Right.
Boxes?
Right.
That was the biggest.
And there's no way to enlarge it because the building itself just isn't big enough to do it. So you can thank the politicians in Miami for the mess that we're in right now.
Yeah, it's a crazy mess.
And like I said yesterday, even the mugwumps in Tampa are building a big, brand new arena downtown in a nose-picking place like that. They're building a beautiful state-of-the-art arena with a crappy team like they got, and here we are sitting on pins and needles praying that something good happens.
Yep, it's a shame. All right, love your show, man.
Okay, pal.
Take care.
See ya. We have two open lines in Dade, 751 WIOD. They're recalcitrant again here today. They're pretty slow. Two in Broward, 5249463. One on a green line, 1-800-944-WIOD. Phil Henry, I know you're listening. Just keep in mind, just keep saying to yourself, this is the toughest goddamn place on the face of the earth. This is the most intractable, the most immovable. Don't let it get you down, mister, even though you're no Jeff DeForest. Here's Fort Lauderdale on the purple line. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
That's the AT&T Wireless Mobile One cellular line. Yes.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
I just wanted to know, with all this talk about building the arena down in Sunrise and everything, you think it's going to happen, and you think the Panthers are going to stay?
What did I just get through saying like 15 minutes ago?
No, I wasn't listening about this.
There you go. See, if you'd have been listening, I would have told you that the rumor is that tomorrow they're going to have a meeting, and this consultant firm that the county hired to do the crunch study on the numbers is going to say it's feasible, that they can raise the money with no problem at all, and they're going to recommend that the county goes ahead and do it. And then on Thursday, or maybe even tomorrow afternoon, the county commission is going to have an emergency meeting and vote to do it, to build it.
Yeah, but
that's the popular rumor.
You were saying that Huizinga is already, it's a done deal, that they're moving the Panthers.
I did not say that. I said that's what I've been told. I mean, I've been told a million different things, okay?
Yeah, all right.
Listen, if I knew, I would tell you adamantly, for sure, absolute, this is what it is. Nobody knows. Only he knows, and maybe a handful of his inner henchmen.
And he's keeping us all in suspense.
Right.
Okay. Listen, let me ask you something. I got nailed for a traffic ticket on the weekend.
Yeah.
And I hear you talking about these ticket defense guys all the time. Do they guarantee that they get you off on it?
Of course not.
Oh, of course not.
You can't guarantee it, but I just short of guarantee.
Oh, would you?
They're pretty damn good.
Would you happen to have their number or something?
1-800-946-8327. Is that the right number?
741.
What did I say?
9 something.
Oh, well, that's another number. 1-800-741-TEAM, T-E-A-M. 1-800-741-8326.
Great, thanks a lot.
Has that got any of the same numbers I gave you? Maybe one or two of them were right.
Maybe one or two.
Okay, good luck, pal.
Thanks.
And slow down. What number did I give? 941? That's probably somebody's number I know. Let's call it and see if they're home. We have an open line on the AT&T Wireless Mobile One cellular line. See, there's another example of clutter with that douchebag, with that Steve Nickel. If we have to keep saying that 400 times, what is that? What is it? Oh, thanks so much, Bob Green and Cheryl and whoever else. And he probably is in on it, too. Oh, maybe he'll sign the check. So anyway, in fact, every time when I get my paycheck and his signature is on there, I go, it's just a joke. Will you relax, for crying out loud? Just a joke, Mitch. So anyway, it's 10:48 at WI. Would you get out of here before you dig? And put the thing up on there, will you? It's 144,000. Stand up on the ladder there, okay? Be a real man. Stand up on the ladder and do something constructive for once in your life. I want the 143 changed to 144,522. With your finger, okay? I'm sure you've had your fingers on things dirtier than what's up there on the board, okay? So just wipe that little 3 off the grease board and make it into a 4, okay? Quattro in Italian or Espanol. Quattro. Fear. The only fear we have to fear is fear on the board, as they say in German. 10:49 at WIOD, and
Son of a bitch.
Okay, so that new Center One total, now the WIOD finally ponied up that $1,000, which is long overdue. It's $144,522. We're going to make the $150,000, but of course now that's going to take like 15 people out there that were getting ready to send in their $20 checks, and they'll sit back and say, "Oh no, he'll make it without me. I need that 20. I got to go to the track tonight." Well, guess what? The track ain't open tonight. How do you like that? So that throws that excuse right out the window, huh? Nice going. And you can't go tomorrow night because you got to stay home and watch OJ. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, I like your show, and I like coming down to the arena and saying hi to you. And I just got one thing to say to your friend John. Sorry for calling you Dave, man. Bye.
Oh, my God. You know who that is? That's that asshole Paul. See, not only does he make a clown out of himself, I don't want to see you, Paul. Just go away. Here's a guy that just doesn't get the message. Just go away. Don't go away mad. Just go away. And John and I are sitting there at the game the other night, and he comes out, "Oh, hi, Dave." Well, guess what? That ain't Dave. That's John, okay? And he don't really care that you call him John or Dave, or just don't call him anything at all. Just go away, okay? Like this guy's writing my life story. Like all these other people out there that think they know something. They're all like, they got a wild imagination because they have no life of their own. Get your own life, Paul. That would be a really good idea, okay? So go to the games and go in your own section, all right? Please. Jesus, God almighty. This is a phone call. This is the kind of thing you get on the air in Miami. I really love coming down to the games and saying hi to you. I don't want to say hi to you. I want to say bye to you. See ya. Get out of here. We have an open line in Dade, 751 WIOD, and 2 on the green lines. How come it is we have so many assholes call on those green lines, huh? Can you explain that to me? How come we have so many chronic misfits who can't find a life up there in Palm Beach County? Well, I guess it speaks for itself, don't it? I mean, if Greg Bedell can be doing a 7.8 share 12+ on the morning on WJNO, I think that speaks volumes for Palm Beach County. Not that I have anything against you, Greg, but just get out of my face as well. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
He's an old Jean for Coq the Tour.
Right.
Good morning, Neil. The Panthers will stay in Florida.
We have an open line in Dade, 751. That's Woody, okay? All we're getting is misfits here. You know, you're not going to fool me. This ain't the Phil Henry show with Andy on there, sicking Al Rogers and Woody and people like that on the air. This is the Neil Rogers show with George sicking Woody on Neil. I'm sorry. Open line in Broward, 524 WIOD, and 2 on the green lines. Let's talk to somebody in Palm Beach who's not a goddamn misfit, okay? Let's talk some heavy-duty crap with somebody that's got a brain in Palm Beach. Is that possible? Who's not a chronic, who's not one of these goddamn pains in the ass that we just can't get rid of out there. See, the thing about this radio station that really cracks me up is I sit here and I scream and I rant and I rave, and of course you would think that if I scream louder, more people are going to listen. Well, radio doesn't turn on spontaneously. Now, maybe we could invent a new radio that the louder you scream, somebody's radio will turn on to your frequency automatically if you scream loud enough. Do you know what I'm saying? We can make it into a screaming contest, and I got news for you. We got the biggest screamers right here. Or is that at Channel 7? But it just doesn't work that way. But hey, so in other words, we're trying to like make something out of nothing. We're trying to make goddamn steak, Chateaubriand, out of dog droppings because there ain't no marketing going on. There ain't nobody going out and tapping somebody on the shoulder, which is one of the reasons that Phil Henry is ready to blow his brains out and not doing what he ought to be doing because of the fact that nobody ever said anything about it. Forget about Rick and Suds because God forbid we should mention that they're on the air. So you see, there is something about having been here for 20 years, and that is that there actually are a few people that know that I'm on the air here, which if there weren't, I'd be sitting down there with a 2-share also. Here's Fort Lauderdale on the purple line. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. You were talking about the NASA stuff and the Pluto thing, or the Jupiter thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard the scientists this morning talking about the fact that they have discovered that they didn't know what they were talking about the planet before.
Yeah.
And now that they think maybe on one of the moons there might actually be organisms that are living things.
Yeah.
And we'll never hear about that one due to the religious right. We'll never go.
Yeah.
So there.
Well, do you know which moon it's on, don't you?
Uranus.
Fuck a moon.
Have a great day, pal.
Huh?
Yeah, that's right. We don't want, because then they'll have to start explaining that away. We don't want to, we've already got enough problems trying to explain away all these other silly fairy tales from the Bible, but now they're going to have to start explaining away. Well, he works in mysterious ways.
Satan put that.
Satan put the goddamn moon there. That's right. Satan put the cockamoon out there.
Cockamoon.
And he's the one responsible, and there must be all demon devils out there on the on Jupiter's moon, or on the moon. How about the moon on Uranus? We have an open line at Dade, 751-WIOD. We still got 2 on the green lines. I think we can solve the green line problem, okay? Like I said, no more geeks and misfits called. Then we can take those lines out, because I think that's all we got up there. Oh, it's nice coming and seeing you at the hockey games. And by the way, apologize to John for calling him Dave. Yeah, you know something? He hasn't been the same since that game. You know what? He just has been so depressed and walking around shaking his head. He thought he was a celebrity. He thought he was a major personality in the market, and now he's like Dave. Unbelievable. Jesus, Josephat and Esther, man, it's just a killer. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Happy anniversary, man.
It's coming.
It's coming, that's
And
true.
the anniversary, too. March 1st. It's getting close, It's like 5 weeks away.
Yeah, that's right.
God, I can envision the wild bash that's going to go on in this place.
I've been listening to you since 1988, so
all right.
I'm staying with you.
Okay.
I was watching figure skating last week on Fox.
Talk about desperate.
I know, there's nothing on. But, you know that guy, James Brown?
Yeah,
Does
I
NFL?
sure do. James Brown, he's the all-around black guy on there, the token black guy that all he knows about is a little bit about football. He knows nothing about any other sport. They even had him on the Hockey All-Star game Saturday. He knows nothing.
Well, he compared Scott Hamilton. He said that figure skating has Scott Hamilton and baseball has Cal Ripken.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess
there
he's
you go.
comparing oranges to apples.
James Brown wouldn't know Scott Hamilton from his rectum. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about going to either Rome or Florence.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best?
Both.
Both?
You want to know why? Can I tell you why?
Okay.
Because no matter which one you go to, you hop on. How long are you going to go for?
Thinking about going about a week.
Oh, well, for crying out loud, you hop on the train.
Right, the train.
There are trains leaving like every hour from going both ways.
Right, I called you about, I told you I went to Venice a year ago.
Right.
And,
but like I said, you hop on the train. The train ride is like about an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. It's supposed to be longer, but it's only about an hour and 25 minutes.
Right.
And it's great. And, you can spend the whole day in Florence and then like 7, 8 o'clock at night go back to Rome.
Yeah, this is like the best time to go, like in March, I guess, right? The weather's great.
It is?
I don't know. Mexican.
March?
Yeah.
It'll be...
What do you think, summertime? Is it too hot?
No, the best time would be to go like in April, late April or in May. It's going to be chilly in March.
Oh, yeah. All right, Neil. Thanks a lot.
Good luck to you, pal.
All right, take it easy.
Okay. See you in Firenze. But then, of course, there's that Italian guy that called Phil a couple of days ago. I don't know why that sticks out in my mind, but it was just such an inane thing for somebody to say. The topic was something about the bilingualism. Phil had one of his voices on there, and this guy's, well, I'm Italian, but I sure would never go to Italy. Well, what does that mean? That's like saying, I'm Spanish, but I would never go to Spain. By the way, anybody ever been to Spain? Madrid, Barcelona? Well, I want to hear from somebody who's been to Spain. I get too many conflicting reports. And, of course, you got to find out for yourself. You got to find out for yourself what it's all about. I think Spain would be pretty interesting. Of course, if I want to hear a bunch of people babbling in Espanol, of course, if you go to Barcelona, they don't speak Spanish. They speak Castilian with a speech effect. In addition to which, the Castilian is not just different from Spanish in terms of the fact they got their tongue all jammed up in their thing, but it's the language is different, too, isn't it?
There's some things that are different. They speak it really, really fast, so it sounds like one big slur.
Yeah. You like that?
No, it sounds like...
Uh-huh. Oh, I feel like I was stuck in the hallway with Defoe again. Like that. I have no idea what language he was speaking yesterday. He was just out of control. He's trying to, validate himself as a human being. You're okay in my book, Defoe, okay? Everybody listen to Sports Talk on 610 WIOD from 6 till 8. Oh! I've always said that. But now he wants me to, say stuff that I don't believe, like I love those monologues. I hate those monologues. I hate the cliches. But that's your thing. Just do it. Just do what you want to do. Feel good about it. You're beating the Hummer. You ought to be great. You ought to be happy, okay? In any language, but just get out of my face.
More annoying than LaToya Jackson. WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
Don't they understand that I would jump in front of a bullet for Nicole?
Yes!
TV has got a lady named Kathy Lee. Everybody thinks that she is squeaky clean. I'm gonna blow her cover now and be a fink. Kathy's just a snob that thinks her stuff don't stink. And now she says she's gonna up and leave her show. Well, baby, just pack up all your things and go, go, go.
I just can't stand that.
Go, Kathy, go, go.
an idiot.
Kathy, go, go. Just go, Kathy, go, just go. 'Cause you ain't that good.
No.
'Cause she says the television is a big wasteland. Well, stop talking about your kids and your dumb husband. Don't tell me old Frank is a love machine. You say that one more time and babe, I'm gonna scream. On Monday Night Football, he's as good as dead. There ain't much going on in little Frankie's head. Go, go.
Oh.
Go, Kathy, go, go.
Oh.
Let's reach to the show, no. Just go, Kathy, go, go.
No.
Go, Kathy, go, go. Nobody that good. Go, go, go. Go, Kathy, go.
11:06 at WIOD. Happy Tuesday from all your good paisans over here. We're pretty lonely, though, these days because we're just sitting out there on a limb waiting for somebody to chop it off. You know how that works? Don't forget, by the way, this Sunday morning from 6 till 9, Steve Nickel talks to extremely old people on the Weekend Magazine. Now, here's the thing that somebody left in my box, which is kind of a bizarre, and it's from the Herald on Sunday, January 21st, from the Neighbors section, I assume this is? Is this what this is? It has got to be. So anyway, I don't know which Neighbors it's in, probably like somewhere in Dade, some like bogus neighborhood. And it says she helps match pets with a perfect home. And it's got a picture here. But anyway, the article says her 5th grade students at Meadow Lane Elementary School in Hialeah respectfully call her Miss Jacobs. Those who listen to WIOD's Neil Rogers have heard the radio personality refer to her jokingly as Susan the school teacher, an otherwise reserved young woman who turns into a rabid Doll fan when she takes her seat next to Rogers at Joe Robbie Stadium. But her largest and most avid legion of admirers don't know her name. They're dogs and cats at Dade County Animal Shelter. Every Saturday for the past 5 years, Susan Jacobs drives to the shelter from her Pembroke Pines home to help care for abandoned, lost, and abused animals, yada, yada, yada. And then it's got a big picture of her kissing a couple of puppies, and it says, pampering pets to be. Nancy Jacobs cuddles a couple of puppies at the shelter. Well, guess what? I don't call her Susan the school teacher. I call her Nancy the school teacher because her name is Nancy, like it says by the picture. But in the rest of the article, it keeps calling her Susan. God damn it. So you can wipe your ass with this, Harold, okay? Even in a puff piece in the Neighbors section, they can't get a thing right. Susan Jacobs, my ass. So hi, Nancy, the school teacher, and don't hold it against them, okay? And it's written by some bimbette called Sue Mullen, who's probably another one of those $1-an-hour stringers that they got. Another elementary school kid writing in a newspaper. See, the schools around here don't need to have their own newspapers because most of those kids can already write for the Herald and the Sun-Sentinel. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, well, what's happening? Hey, I was listening last night, right, with the game.
Yeah.
On the other station, which I had to because the game wasn't on.
Right.
Those guys who do that game, they were, like, so stupid. Okay, like, the Panthers scored, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wow, there's a goal, the Panthers scored. But on the other hand, the Flyers, when the Flyers scored, it was like, oh, unbelievable, you got to watch these Flyers.
I doubt that.
You know?
I doubt that.
Oh, yeah?
I doubt it.
Well, those people are supposed to be the Panther station.
Yeah.
They need to scrap themselves.
Okay, well, scrap this. Okay, you're a hell of a caller. We have an open line in Broward, 524. See, there's a guy that thinks he's going to ingratiate himself with me by making comments, and he don't even make the right comments because, of course, Chris Moore, we don't even want to go into it. By the way, Fred Cusick and Derek Sanderson are both on oxygen this morning. Man, I love Fred Cusick. He is one of the all-time greatest, but I'm going to tell you, he is so close to death. He's closer to death than George Burns, and they say George is taking it intravenously. But, I mean, poor Fred. And last night, Derek, all he does is cry now the whole game. Every time there's a penalty on the Bruins, oh, we was robbed. He's getting like Johnny Most, and, of course, he's dead, too. But, man, those two. And, of course, when the Bruins blew that 6-4 lead in the last 52 seconds, and then Mario got that breakaway and scored that great, exciting goal in overtime, and the Penguins win it. It sure would have been nice to hear Mike Lang, but, of course, the Penguins weren't televising last night either. What a goddamn bad break that is. Here's Miami Springs. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I only work in Miami Springs, and I'm happy to say I live in Sunrise, and I got my fingers crossed.
Yes, sir. I think the next couple of days we may have some good news.
Big hockey fan, especially a Panthers fan, and I'm ready for him.
Right.
I know you don't read the Herald, but I was at breakfast this morning, and I was reading through it, and there's something interesting on page 8A if you have one available.
What is it? Because I don't feel like standing up. Not for the Herald, I don't stand up and reach over and grab it.
Yeah, I usually sit down on it.
Or the paper.
It's a bunch of letters that people wrote in about the media switching over during the the Clinton press conference
Oh,
with
yeah?
Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, like
yeah.
I said, I got to see that.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I wouldn't have called unless it was something you really wanted to
Something
say.
really important.
Yeah, something pertinent to the...
Hey, here's the Sun-Sentinel, which I already got 45 copies of that. Here's the Miami Herald. How do you like that?
Page 8A.
Oh, what a nice, colorful front page, too.
Oh, God.
Makes me feel just like a USA Today and the Herald all wrapped up in one. Page 8A, editorial page.
Yep.
And interrupting president for a coach was appalling.
How about it?
All right. Here's
Finally,
one,
they do something
two.
right.
It certainly was refreshing to hear from the two largest egos in the U.S. rather than listen to important subjects such as the U.S. budget, environment, and child welfare. No wonder people are worried about morals, values, and priorities, says Mary in Miami. All right, Mary. Here's another one. There's another one. I realize that South Florida is very interested in the Dolphins coach, but the president's actions and the country's needs are far more important, says Doris in Sunrise. All right, Doris. Have local TV stations lost their grip on reality, says Cheryl in Key Biscayne. I guess the budget, troops in Bosnia and Whitewater really take second place to the importance of a football coach being hired, says Al in Miami. Attaboy, Al. And there's another one from Abby in Miami. Thank God there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters here, all ripping and tearing the goddamn local media here for being a bunch of irresponsible butt plugs, interrupting the president of the U.S. for a goddamn stupid football coach press conference, which we knew already ahead of time.
We are not alone, Neil.
Hallelujah. Thank you, sir. I never would have seen it.
I know that, buddy. And in closing,
Yes?
Dave Kennedy, you're a douchebag.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
See ya. Yeah, how do you like that? I'm not the only one. Of course, maybe some of those people are old farts who generally are the ones that write the letters to the editor. But, hey, the old farts may know something, okay? Like me, I'm a pretty old fart. And like I said then, and I'll say it again now, I don't care who the president is, even if he's a senile old fart like Ronald Reagan was, a senile old fascist right-wing extremist like him. If the president is on there, you can wait another 15 minutes before Chrome Dome and Jimmy with all the hair. How about if Jimmy, instead of doing it the other way, how about if Jimmy just gives up his hair and puts it on Wayne's head? That would be cute, huh? Let's see that picture with Wayne with Jimmy's hair on it. I think that would be sweet as it gets. Maybe a zit transplant. It's 11:13 at WIOD.
Hi, I'm Rick Riley.
And I'm Suds Coleman.
We're founders of Black Entertainment Television, or BET. Named after us when they heard that we were taking it over Rick and Suds, we wouldn't listen to them on a bet. Oh, there's the name.
Wow. See us tonight at 10.
Oh, man. Rick and Suds, 6 to 10 a.m. on News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
I killed Nicole.
During his trial, O.J. Simpson desperately wanted to tell his story without being bothered by a little something called cross-examination.
I would not, could not, and did not commit these crimes.
Well, now, O.J. has finally found a way to come clean, a way that doesn't bother with ethics or common sense and can make a buck in the process.
And if you order now, you'll receive this video with O.J.'s true story.
Coming soon to a TV near you, O.J. Simpson's Misinfomercial.
Could you tell us about your video, Juice?
Oh, sure thing. It's me sitting in my backyard so nobody could be yelling things like murderer at me, trying to worm my way back into the hearts of America.
Sounds good. Let's give a listen.
Oh, and those prosecutors. How could a woman who changes her hairstyle every day be telling the truth?
Hard-hitting stuff, O.J.
You bet, baby. And if you're watching my Misinfomercial, pull out $29.95 for my video now.
O.J. Simpson's Misinfomercial. If you were baffled by the verdict, wait till you try to figure out why anyone would buy this.
Yeah. Tell me another one, Cheryl. So anyway, it's 11:17. Tell her that story, by the way. She'll get a kick out of it. So there's our new total for Center 1, $145,000. Oh! $152. Okay, we're going to make that 150 if we have to make Cheryl give up the last $5,000. Well, she's got a rich ex-husband. You got another? Oh, another one. Okay, let's tell it on the air. No. Oh, come on. No. Okay, get a 90 share, guaranteed. You bet. Do it on Defoe's show. He gets in all that heavy sports. We have an open line in Broward, 5249463. I'm not doing no break right now, okay? But come back. You'll tell me during the break? Okay, let's do the break. No, it's just a joke. It's just a little joke. We got a radio show going on here. It's more important than hearing some gossip from Cheryl that's got some spicy story again about somebody's doing who and who's putting this where and what it looked like and who was all over the place at the time. That was the most, I mean, seriously, you could stop, you could sit in a corner and just think about that for hours and try to, conjure up in your mind what that was really all about. And it was not a compliment either, Cheryl. I don't want you to take it personally, but I don't think that's a compliment. When somebody is like doing you and they're going, there's like some message in there. Oh, God. Ever do anybody, and while you were doing them, you were going all over, like in a towel, which you brought the towel ahead of time because you knew you were going to be all over the place. That's pretty sexy. Here's North Miami Beach. Hello.
Radio. Don't hang up.
I just can't believe.
What was that?
Remember that? Radio.
Oh,
what
yeah,
would
from
life be?
well, your memory's better than mine. That's ancient, yeah.
Oh, well, it brought up memories when you started talking about what's happening with Phil and the demos, and the demographics.
I am so pissed off about the Phil Henry numbers, man. And I've never, ordinarily I don't try to everybody's got to do their own thing. But Phil Henry is so goddamn good. And the fact that even in 1 hour Hank beats him out there in any demo is so unacceptable that it's an infamy.
Well, you said it best before when you had a really high rating one month and the next month it was like nil.
Right.
And it's got to be impossible. Every guy I know, every friend I have listens to you and then Phil.
There you go.
It's impossible.
Like I said, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sorry, Rick. Now you're going to get Rick going again. One day it was Rick, the next day it was Defoe.
Well,
Rick's a good guy, but when I come in here in the morning on their show, myself, I start doing stuff like that.
I listen to Rick and Suds, but not.
Well, why don't you say that to make him feel better?
To make him feel better because he's a wimp.
Well, that's true.
Got to butch up a little bit.
That's true. Him and Defoe, they ought to both go to school and get a pair sewn on or something.
Definitely. I just wanted to let you know that everyone I know listens to you and Phil all the time.
Right.
So this is BS.
Yeah.
And you know what?
You know what? I think Phil is not getting credit for some people in the diary, they probably put down Steve Warnell. They put down Margaret. They're putting down all these other people. If Phil could get all the diaries that they're putting the other names, he'd probably have a 15 share.
It's all these other guys, right?
Right. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Because these people out there, as if I have to tell you, are dumber than dust.
Oh, tell me about it. Today I tried to get a trucking company to ask, I asked them if they ship to Rhode Island. She asked me to spell Rhode Island.
Yeah.
She didn't know where it was.
In fact, I just found Freddie Cruz also had a 2 share in the afternoon. He's not even on the air. The Gentle Breeze.
By the way, do you know that Cleveland Clinic ad that you're running? Have you listened to it?
Do I know what? Oh, please, now you're going to talk to me about Dr. Moon.
Yeah.
Please. I was just thinking during that last news, it's just a matter of time before somebody calls about Dr. Harry Moon. Well, listen, he must be a hell of a guy to walk around with a name like that. You know what I'm saying? Have a great day, pal.
I thought you would have caught on to it.
Huh?
I thought you would have caught on to it, You would have said something about it.
What am I going to say? As a sponsor, I'm going to start making fun of Dr. Moon? You know who his brother is, don't you?
No.
Have a great day. He doesn't know who his brother is. It's just, see, these people got a sense of humor. Right away, there's going to get a phone call. Did you hear what he said? Yeah, the doctor. Like I said, anybody that has a name like that has a sense of humor. Dr. Harry Moon and his brother.
Moon.
Right. He's a good guy. So anyway, well, I guess we can write them off. We have an open line in Dade, 751-WIOD, one on the green line, 1-800-944. And don't forget, it's full now, but the AT&T wireless and mobile and cellular line, too, which I usually call the purple line, but we got to call it the other thing because we love our friends at Mobile One Cellular and AT&T and whoever else we love, and Steve Nickel wants us to kill a lot more time. Pretty soon, if we can just get a few more trips going and a few more tragic trips and a few more of these long phone lines with big, long names on them, we can just do the breaks and give all the stuff and then never take a call and never do any show. Sounds okay to me. It's 11:21 at WIOD.
News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
Enough with the puking.
There is a group of people out there that are being persecuted for their good sense. A group of people who give higher priority to health than fashionability. They are those who suffer from hat hair. Why are they ridiculed? Simply because they refuse to cave in to social pressures and wear a hat in cold weather. These people should not be ridiculed. They should be saluted. Yes, it would be nice if we all tipped our caps to these people. It would be nice, but then we'd all have hat hair like them, and who wants that? I'm sorry. I know you can lose 80% of your body heat through your head, but hey, that's a small price to pay for not looking like a dork. Oh, go ahead. Make fun of them. They deserve it. Don't they realize that the rest of us who don't wear hats are going to have colds and be coughing and sneezing in their direction, so they're going to get sick anyway? So why risk hat hair in the first place? It's better to look like you're cool than look like a fool.
Oh, speaking of cool, so last night on MSG, the Ranger Shill Network, which carries the Ranger games, so before the game, on the pregame show, they had like that Al Troutwig, who's a real Canadian asshole, and he was doing this thing about the fan reaction to the Fox Trax on the All-Star game Saturday night, and of course there were some people saying, oh yeah, it was okay, and then there were some saying it was disgusting and grotesque, and Glenn Healy of the Rangers was saying, it really sucked and we don't need it. And then guess who liked it the most? I'll give you one guess as to which group of people liked it the most. Little kids. They had two little...
Oh, it was cool.
There was one like 8-year-old kid and one like 9-year-old girl, and they thought it was cool. So like I said, Fox up your ass. And the host of that show, which I don't know what his name is on MSG, who's a good guy, he said it sucked. He said, Fox, you're to be commended for the technology and this and that, but it really sucked and it was distracting, and please don't ever do it again. And the fact that there are people, I just am in shock, the fact that there are some people trying to say now, oh, yeah, it was really great. It was not only not great, it's unacceptable. For the All-Star game is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, fine, I could handle that. It was okay for a one-time thing. But if they really plan on doing that, like, again, which they do, I mean, somebody up needs to be murdered at Fox. Absolutely unacceptable. It changes the whole nature of the game that you see on television into a goddamn video game. I don't want no goddamn hockey video game. If I want it, I'll go out and buy Wayne Gretzky's hockey video #2 or whatever. I'll buy a hockey video game if that's what I want to see. You jackasses. Oh, it was really cool, man. Okay, whatever you say. Here's Fort Lauderdale on the purple AT&T Wireless Mobile One Cellular and not the other guy's line.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes,
Great
sir.
Show. About the hockey game the other night. I'm a Bruins fan, grew up there in Boston area my whole life.
Yes, sir.
I thought the game was great, but I don't think Bork deserved the MVP.
Why not?
Well,
who would it be?
He played an all right game, but I thought one of the two goalies in the third period, either Hasek or Potvin, deserved it. They played a fantastic game.
I don't think so. I mean, they did play a fantastic game, but they didn't, they weren't responsible for the outcome of the game. In a game like that where there were a lot of people that played well, you've got to look for somebody who's got the edge, who did something that, resulted in winning the game. And since he scored the winning goal, I think he deserved it.
Okay, well, it's just your point of view.
I think it was a nice touch. Here right at home,
Boston
17 years in Boston, they all love him, and it was a nice thing.
True, yeah, I'll agree with you that there. And about the Fox track, I didn't care for it, except for when there was a shot and the goalie made the save and it would go up in the air. Most times you don't see that; you lose it.
You do?
With the Fox track, once the goalie makes a save and it goes off into the stands, then it would look a little interesting. But otherwise, no, I couldn't care for it.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Well, listen, if you can relive your childhood, you'd love it. We have an open line on the purple. I think he was gone. On the AT&T Wireless and Mobile One Center, I'm not going to keep saying that, okay? I'm not going to say that 4 million times. On the purple line, that's for AT&T Wireless and Mobile One Cellular customers. That's what I'm going to say. That's Steve Nickel, man. This guy, so help me God, if brevity were like, if you could sell brevity by the ounce, this man would be poverty-stricken. We have two open lines on the green lines, 1-800-944-WIOD. They don't care about OJ up there in Palm Beach. They don't care about the Fox tracks. They don't care about the arena because, of course, a lot of those nose pickers up there still really believe, they're going to build it up here in Palm Beach. Well, guess what? They're not. It's not even under consideration. There is no chance, there is less than no chance that anybody's building any arena in Palm Beach. How do you like that? Take it to the bank. Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hello?
Yep.
Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Turn that radio down. What is it?
I like your show,
What's going on over there? What's all the screaming and carrying on going over there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Neil, I've been listening to you for 5 years, man. I like your show.
Yeah.
Hey, and Don Shula, I think, is a douchebag, man.
Yeah. And?
That's all I got to say.
Okay, I'm blowing out your ass. Okay. There's a call. There's a really brilliant caller right there. First of all, he's got like 20 pounds of gravel in his throat. Secondly, he's got the radio way up in the background. Third, there's about 6 people playing grab ass with each other and maybe with him in the back. Have a nice day, pal. It sounds like you got a good start. The 2 lines that are open on the board are both up there in Palm Beach, the green lines. I could just sit and ignore them all day. I could not pick on them anymore. I could sit, because quite frankly, the total survey area in here in the book, did we talk about that? No, we did not, which includes Palm Beach in addition to Dade and Broward. See, the Palm Beach people, you don't count in the ratings. How do you like that? Nobody cares about the TSA. And it kind of frosts my ass that, like, for example, Howard's got a few more people in Palm Beach on the TSA than we do. But, of course, Howard's on FM, which they can hear up there 100,000 watts. And in Palm Beach, most of it, like east of 441, you can't hear it for love or money. So TSA, let's see, average quarter hour. We got like, what do we got? 42,000. Oh, I'm on the wrong goddamn thing. I'll find the TSA here somewhere. I'll find a goddamn thing, and when I do, it's like, a couple of thousand, something like that, 3,000 or 4,000. That's all we got. We got squat up there in Palm Beach, and I'm sitting here every day, and then all we get is that Paul guy calling in, or we get Greg from Boynton Beach who's trying to be on his best behavior and going through heavy therapy, and I think it may be starting to work very slowly. But we got generally a bunch of chronics up there because we got the same 10 people. That's all we got, like I said. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil, hi.
Yes, sir.
How are you? You still have it in front of you? The Herald, that is.
I have it in front of me, but not the Herald. Yeah, I got it here.
Wait, pull it out. It's on the first page.
I just pulled it out.
Right below that picture. Look at that headline. Churches fear clergy malpractice.
Church healers liable in diabetic boy's death. Clergy malpractice suits feared. The Supreme Court let stand Monday a $1.5 million reward against parents and religious caregivers who treated a diabetic Minnesota boy with prayer instead of insulin. The 11-year-old boy died.
Can you how about
it was the first jury verdict of its kind against Christian Science spiritual healers to survive a final challenge. At the same time, the justices left the Christian Science church itself free of a $9 million judgment imposed by a jury to punish the church.
Yeah, let the church out, but they got the parent and the friend and the healer.
Oh. Yeah, the church, they're off the hook, of course, because the Supreme Court is scared crapless of these religious institutions.
Exactly.
But the parents, they're the ones that are going to pay. And the fact that they were brainwashed by this Christian Science bullcrap and they let their kid die when he could have been given insulin and be alive today.
Right.
What a bunch of crap that is.
Can you believe it? One other thing.
They shouldn't be just getting they should be going to the electric chair.
Right, but if they did that because they are afraid of the Catholics, they may come back to them and say about abortions, that they give their wrong advice about abortions.
Right. Yeah, it says Roman Catholic, Baptist, Mormon, and other churches said the case invites judges and juries to access the validity of religious doctrine and practices, to which I say, all right.
Right.
Thank God. It's about time. Thank the Lord.
Neil, one more thing. You got me interested in that book, Gore Vidal's. You started live from Golgotha.
Right.
Have you finished it?
No, I gave it to George.
Oh, you got tired of it?
I just, I don't know. I just, all that religious hocus pocus, even though it's very funny, I'm just, I can't handle it.
It is. I got into it. I'm getting a little slow and slowing you down a little bit now, but I still find it interesting.
Are you reading it, George?
I finally took it out of my briefcase over the weekend.
Oh, so George is getting ready to read it. He's thinking about it. Yeah.
One last shameless request, that Sheryl Crow satire, whatever.
Sheryl Crow?
Yeah, that, the song that she made a year ago, you had a satirical song about it. All I have to do is...
yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I'll find it.
All right.
I'll dig.
Have a great
day, amigo. Thanks for the story. So there we go, right on the front page of the Herald, which if I read the Herald, I would have seen that, but I don't read the Herald. I could subscribe to it. I think I could probably... How does a guy like me afford the goddamn Sun Sentinel every day? That's what I'd like to know. And I might even be able to afford to subscribe to the Herald again, but it's against my religion. I did that for a while there, and I thought, you guys just really suck. But then again, the Sun Sentinel ain't all that great either. I can't wait till Melissa Ruggieri puts together her great radio story now that the whole book is out, and puts together that full story, so we can read about those great numbers like from all those like Howard and Howard and Howard. Is there any other station on the air? Because basically I'm looking at men 25 to 54, and like his biggest hour, they're from 8 to 9, and 9 to 10 is an 8.8 and an 8.6, and my smallest hour here is a 9.3. Okay, sweetheart, Melissa? Even though I'm just barely, holding my own, as she says. I'm holding my own. I think you're holding somebody's over there, and Nate, your own. Unless you got one. It's an open line. Now, that's Super Dave. That's not the Super Dave from the track, is it? That's not Gary Seibel's good friend, Super Dave, that fat pig that used to hang around at the track.
The chronic
Wouldn't
used
that
to bug us incessantly and never leave it.
The one that used to make tapes off of the show and send them out and charge money for it? Remember that? That's the one? That thing is Melissa Ruggieri's boyfriend? Oh, my God. Does that explain it all now or what? Super Dave? With that phony voice of his that talks through his teeth that I think probably has had an affair with Ken Block and Gilbert both, and the guy with the eyes? It's 11:35 at WIOD.
Saturday at 1 p.m., Rick and Suds, Neil and Phil hold court at the Borders Books Music and Cafe in Kendall to benefit Center One last time. Best of WIOD CDs and cassettes. The best talk personalities on the planet. Saturday, in person, 1 to 3 p.m. at Borders in Kendall, near Dayland Mall. Ante up for Center One with news, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
Happy Purim!
I haven't felt anything remotely sexual in years.
Okay, it's 23 till noon at WID. Now, why the hell did I play that? That isn't what I wanted to play. What did I want to play on here? And by the way, the guy just called. The chances of my finding that thing, I know exactly what he's talking about, but I'll just keep digging, okay? I'll just keep digging and digging. I'll pretend I'm in Tampa and just keep digging and digging and digging until it bleeds. What did I want to play on here? Oh, that. Which I will, but I'll find that. One of these days. Trust me when I tell you, pal. Just stay there hooked right to it. Yeah, so the Christian Scientists, all these other people think that it's okay to have, they call it a religion, where they just neglect their child and they don't give them medical care because their religion says you don't do medical care. And you don't do drugs, and you don't do this, and you don't do blood transfusions because the Lord said so. So guess what? The kid is dead. See, these are the real victims. The children of these religious nuts, these are the victims. Between the brainwashing and the abuse and all the other bullcrap, and, of course, the guilt trips, all the other garbage that goes on. So is it any wonder that we have all these goddamn O.J. Simpsons running around? And Michael Jacksons.
Jehovah's Witness.
Now you're going to start on the Jehovah's Witnesses, too, you relentless bastard. Next, you'll bring up the goddamn Mormons again.
Not only do you not get blood transfusions when you're a Jehovah's Witness, but you don't get Christmas or birthdays either.
Well, screw them. How about Hanukkah gifts? Oh, sorry. Here's a mobile in Vero Beach. Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was just listening to you, and they don't even rate above West Palm or even West Palm in your book?
Well, you got your own. No, of course not.
Well, it just...
Why, how many people do you think we have? I mean, we can't get a call from West Palm Beach for love or money. Do you think we have a measurable audience in, like, Fort Pierce
Believe
and
it or
Vero
not,
Beach?
yes, you do. I transit and do sales work all over East Coast from West Palm to Sebastian. I know quite a few people that listen to your show regularly, and it just doesn't give you the justice, even though you don't need the numbers any more than you got.
Well, for justice, you know, we must go to see what's his name. Yeah.
But anyway, I was just thinking, you
Bobby
know,
Cox.
it's a lot bigger than what it seems up here.
I'll guarantee you, pal, it's a lot bigger than most of these people assume it is. I'll tell you that.
Even
bigger than an acorn.
Even in Okemechobee, I know a lot of people that listen to you, Neil.
All right.
Neil, God, have a great day, man.
We're number one in mugwumps, pal.
That's true.
Have a great life.
All right.
Yeah, see, in Palm Beach we can't buy a call, but every now and then we get calls from Sebastian Inlet and from Joel Sebastian and this guy in Vero Beach and from Melbourne and Palm Bay and all those other glacier places up there. But, oh, Palm Beach, they're too good for us, especially our good friends up there in Boca, because they're too snooty in Boca. They wouldn't listen to a goddamn station like this. In addition to which, Boca is mainly all the old Jews that ran away from the beach because they didn't want to be invaded by the Cubans. Isn't that what the real story is about Boca? Why don't you admit it, okay? You lying phonies up there. You just ran away because you didn't want to learn to speak Spanish, which is the proper thing to do. That's what George just said. Of course, what the hell does he know? Because his brain is being squeezed so tightly by that real tight foreskin. I'm telling you, that's one of the reasons the Latin men are so goddamn emotional and high-strung, is because the blood is always just being convulsed in there. Here's Davey. Hello.
Hey, Neil, it's Paul from Riverside Gordon. How you doing?
Okay, Paul.
I wanted to call and comment on...
Why did you say from Riverside Gordon? Is there, like, am I supposed to, like, recognize that, or are we,
Yeah,
like...
I met you a couple times at a hockey game, and I introduced myself as being the guy that embalms all the bodies.
Oh, yeah, this is the stiff guy.
Right.
Well, it's always good finding a stiff guy.
Exactly. I wanted to comment on the Spain trip.
Yes?
I've been to Spain.
And you don't sound too enthused about it.
No, it was excellent.
Well, where are boots? I mean, like
I flew
Barcelona,
into,
Madrid.
Well, I flew into Barcelona, right outside the Air Force Base there.
Right.
And I spent 2 days there, and then I traveled to Madrid, and I spent a night there, and then went back to Barcelona and spent the fourth day and night, and then left out. So I spent
You spent a lot, is what it sounds like.
I'm sorry?
I said it sounded like a hell of a time.
It was great.
Yeah.
Good nightlife and excellent food.
Excellent food?
Excellent food.
As in what?
I'm
not
sorry?
black beans and rice.
No, that's...
Not Cuban food.
Yeah, we're talking Spain, not Latin
We're talking
America.
Spanish food now, not Cuban food.
That's right. You know what they do over there? They like, I know you're on the Atkins, but some of the foods, of course, you know, they don't know the Atkins from anything, but they cook a lot in olive oil, and they do their French fries and stuff like that deep fried in the olive oil, and it comes out with such a great flavor and a really light taste.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really, really good food, and I was impressed with the place. I would like to go back, but I just thought you'd like to know that.
So in other words, it was not filthy and dangerous and like the third world like most of Latin America is?
Not even close. I mean, especially Barcelona was a very it reminded me a lot of Italy.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
It reminded me a lot of downtown Italy because it had
downtown Italy.
Well, downtown.
I didn't know Italy had a downtown.
Well, the larger cities in Italy.
Like Roma, yeah.
Like Rome, exactly, because it has a lot of older buildings and really neat architecture, and the people were really friendly, as opposed to a place like France, which I've also been to, which, quite frankly, I thought sucked.
The worst. Anybody out there contemplating a trip to Paris should be shot on sight.
Exactly. One other comment. I know you don't watch Letterman by any chance. Did you get a call yet about Letterman last night?
No.
He ripped the NHL, and he ripped Fox about...
Always loved that, Dave.
About this new puck thing. He said, and he gave an example. He showed a couple of the clips from one of the games and showed the blue dot.
Yeah.
And he asked his audience to vote on it, and they were all booing it, and were talking about how stupid it was. And then the whole rest of the show, everywhere he went, he had a blue dot on him so they could see him.
I love it.
And he was ripping them a new one, Neil, and he was saying, he pleads with them, don't ruin this age-old game of hockey.
Yeah, that's right.
And
for a bunch of 5-year-old kids.
So I knew.
Oh, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's just like Nintendo, Daddy.
He must have had the same stuff that you had as far as statistics or people that they interviewed, because he said the same thing you did. He said everybody above the age of 12 thought it was stupid.
Right.
And everybody below the age of 12 said the exact same thing. Oh, it's like a big video game.
Right, exactly.
With live people.
And then there was another group, the people that never even had any interest in the game, who thought it was really neat and cool, but guess what? It was a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and no matter how much graphics they put on it, they'll still never watch it again anyway.
That's right. Well, I knew that would make you happy that your buddy Letterman was
Thanks a lot, Dave. You're the best, sweetheart.
He is. And Neil, in closing, don't forget, it's always nice to have a stiff one.
Okay.
Later.
See you in Barcelona.
Bye.
We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463, 524, and I'm sitting here going through all these discs looking for that, because I know exactly what he wants. That all you really got to do is stick it near you, something like that. Whatever that horrible Sheryl Crow song. I bet you they played that Sheryl Crow thing to death over there on the coast, right next to our sister station, which, by the way, we share very, 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 I think it's 2% of the coast audience ever listens to WIOD. How do you like that, huh? What a bunch of snobs there. And you want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because the coast is a background station just like life. It's Muzak. It's Muzak on the FM band. That's the sad part of it is. And they're over there, and they really think that they're, Wendy Bennett's a nice person, and Johnny Dark, he's got his moments, although he's marginal. But, and then, of course, there's that comedian in the morning. But I'm telling you, man, the coast... It's just background slush. It's on in the orifice. It's on, and of course they get that big number in there automatically because people are forced to listen to it. We have people who claim that they're forced to listen to this. No way. Nobody holds a gun in your head and makes you listen. But when you're working in an orifice all day and the doctor or the dentist or whoever has that slush on in the background, the coast, then you're a captive audience. And, of course, they're listening from like 9 to 5, so they have this enormous length of listenership because people are in the orifice, except maybe for a lunch break, and then they say, thank God I don't have to hear that anymore. No more goddamn Sheryl Crow. Oh, God. That goes to show you, man, you can peddle anything in America. The Fox, Trax, and Sheryl Crow, I rest my case. And Lyle, I love it. I think he's probably doing it with Eric Roberts, not Julia. Now, there's a real piece that Eric Roberts, there's a guy, if you see him in the street, in a shopping mall, just run in the other direction, I'm telling you, okay? And all you little kids out there, if you ever see Eric Roberts, just run and scream for help. Oh, and also, did you see that thing now that they're doing on the TV stations because of that one school, that one neighborhood with the school? Where the pedophile has been, allowed to move in there.
Stranger
I want to say it again. All the strangers, anybody you don't know, all you little kids that are skipping school today, anybody you don't know, if they come anywhere near you, even if they're just walking by in the mall, start screaming and yelling, call for mommy and daddy and the police immediately because they're probably a child molester. And especially at Christmas time when Santa starts bouncing you up and down on his lap and smiling too much and getting too much joy out of it, then run like hell. You know it's the Antichrist. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Buenos morning.
You're talking about Madrid.
Yes.
Spent 4 days in Madrid. Beautiful city.
Is it?
Has some tremendous fountains.
Now, those fountains don't have, like, little stuff spritzing out of it, do they?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. Don't tell a principal over at Dillard High about that.
Average meal is about $30. They have some, we stayed at a nice hotel called Florida Norte Hotel, and it's just outside of downtown.
Mm-hmm.
The bus system is excellent. It's just a beautiful, beautiful city. A lot of museums. You can't go wrong.
Huh.
You can take.
And they don't treat Americans like dirt there, like they do in Paris?
No, they have a lot of. They're very friendly. They have like day trips to Avila, Segovia, and Toledo.
Toledo?
Toledo.
Oh.
And these
I don't
are
want to
very,
go to Toledo. I've been there once.
Right.
Raceway Park, the worst.
These are very historic cities.
Right.
There's a lot of influence from the Moors because, you know, the Moors
Right.
ruled that area for about 500 years.
Right.
And you just can't go wrong with Madrid. It's great.
And Barcelona, have you been there?
No, I've never been to Barcelona, but
I'm a little nervous about going to a place when everybody speaks with a speech defect, you know? Just would feel out of place.
Well, actually, they were so nice that I had to take the bus one day, and the bus driver just told me to get on the bus and sit down, and he had let me have a free ride on the bus, and I thought that was very nice of those. You know,
that was very nice.
So it's a nice city, and I think you would enjoy it.
And I think the word we're looking for here is nice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks a pile. Well, that was pretty nice. We have an open line in Dade, 751-9463, 751-WIOD. And, of course, one of the real nice things is that it's any place but here. So, anyway, it's 11:49 at WIOD.
News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
Wrecked him? Hell, it damn near killed him.
Put it in Zaire and it made me ill. Now there ain't no cure and there ain't no pill for Ebola. Ebola. The doctor says I'm sick and I won't last long, but at least I'll survive till the end of the song. It's
Oi!
11:51 at WIOD. It looked like that was going to be a lot of fun. Remember that book came out, The Hot Zone, and Rick got all bent out of shape about that, and people were running out and buying it and waiting for the end of the world. I guess we still have to wait another couple of weeks for the end of the world. Huh? Everybody, that's one of the great pastimes of mankind is predicting the goddamn end of the world. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Have you been to Gulfstream Park yet?
No, I have not.
Jerry Bailey's Duke.
What is it? Now, what was that? What was that? Some guy about 150 years old with blue hair. His other line rings, and he says Jerry Bailey's, something like that, because I think Jerry Bailey had a big day yesterday. I saw that in the sports section as I glanced by very quickly. And that's it. That's the end of the call. It just vanishes, and I think that's it. I think the guy's made his last wager. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever noticed that Jimmy Johnson looks like Elroy from the Jetsons?
I don't watch the Jetsons, but whatever you say.
Well, I think a lot of people out there would, I guess.
Well, a lot of people out there watch the Jetsons?
Well, they used to when they were children, I would imagine.
Okay. Well, I'm older than dirt, so I never watched that.
Exactly. And I have a Godfather question for you.
Yes?
Why did Sonny stop for the toll? I mean, he's the son of, the biggest mob guy. What's he doing stopping for a toll?
Well, don't you remember that, first of all, even if he wouldn't have stopped for the toll, that the car was stopped in front of him, blocking his way?
Oh.
And when he was honking the horn and honking, and then the car kind of backed up into him a little bit to block his way, and then the toll taker kind of ducked down and vanished from sight, and then all of a sudden, bada bing, all over the place. And it only took 750 shots as he came out of the car and was staggering around.
Yeah, but he should have just crashed through both those things with his big, Cadillac.
Well, he did have a big one. That's what his wife was saying at the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All righty, man.
There you go.
Ciao.
There you go. There's the answer for you, okay? They shot Sonny on the causeway. He's dead. Oh, that's right. Robert Duvall didn't have the cotton in his cheeks. I'm sorry. But anyway, consigliere of mine. So where we go now? It's 11:53. I'll tell you one thing. The Godfather, when was that? 73, 74, over 20 years ago that movie was out. It is just as much alive and in the minds of all of us today as it was back then. And even, of course, Joe Daggiola and a few Dagos back there in the early 70s. And the church, of course, got all bent out of shape. The American Defamation League. Oh, you can't release this movie, yada, yada. Why the hell not? Like I said before, were there any Jews got upset because Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel were Jewish, you know what I'm saying, hoods? What's the reason to get all paranoid about that? So we got us this Sicilian thing, okay? What she says in the movie. It's the Sicilian thing. It's been going on forever. That's what Kay said. But I guess she liked Michael's Sicilian thing, so that's, for a while anyway. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Yes?
How you doing today?
Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised that you let the listeners calling in talking about JJ trying to steal, the president's trying to steal JJ's thunder.
JJ?
JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to steal his thunder.
Yeah.
and everybody in town had been waiting to hear him, and then the president trying to sneak in there and get in, and that I got anxious there.
Yeah, well, JJ was only on for the redneck viewers.
No, come on. Hey, you know that
for the
that
good old boys.
That was kind of just a little bit.
You know what?
What? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Yahoo is what you're saying, but it's using a lot of words to say it. We have an open line. No, seriously, that guy said Yahoo in about 600 words, which is a hell of a trick. Yeah, go over to Tampa. You'll fit in there like a glove, okay, asshole? JJ, my ass. All these people get whipped up, just like Pat Riley, man. They came from behind and squeaked out a win last night, those stinking Heat. Nobody's talking about Pat Riley anymore because that team stinks just like they always stunk, and he's got more goddamn Grecian crap in his hair than you can shake your shtick at. But, hey, these people get all excited about somebody for about 2 days, and then as soon as they don't come up to their expectations, man, that's it. Yeah, that was real funny, pal. That was a real funny call. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Lardass will be on in 4.5 minutes, so don't miss that. 560 WQAM. Lardass, just put your arm at that 45-degree angle up in the air and goose step, pal. You'll love it. Only guess what? He don't like rednecks either. Here's Tamarack. Hello.
Now, what good is the Atkins diet if you have high cholesterol?
Yeah. Okay, we have an open line on the Broward line, 5249463. I always like a caller who starts out not hello, not even with a statement, but it starts in on a speech, okay? Well, guess what, asshole? A lot of people have had their cholesterol come down from the Atkins diet, but hey, I wouldn't waste my time with you because you're too close to death anyway, so don't waste your time. Here's Boca. Hello.
They're going to have the Rimmer Trax tonight on Sunshine. Have you seen that?
The Rimmer Trax?
Yeah, it's kind of a little bald spot and a mustache over the puck so you can see
that's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
Or is that the Hypinga Trax?
Yeah, really. It really makes no sense what they did with the game.
It was grotesque.
They had the Heat game on. Yeah, that was great. The Sunshine had the Heat game on.
Last night, you mean? Yeah, I know that.
That's the topic. It's a real hot subject.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody's real thrilled about that. The Panthers are playing in Philadelphia against the mighty Flyers. They hold them to a 1-1 tie. The Flyers had to pull out the tie at the last 3 minutes of the game. And the Beezer plays again a brilliant game. So did Hextall.
Yeah.
And nobody gets to see that. You think after all the interest that was built up after Saturday, all these people watching the All-Star game who ordinarily would have no interest, you think that right off the bat that the local people there would say, hey, let's add that game to the schedule because it really is a meaningful game now and it's really going to be great. And they didn't do it because they had the goddamn Heat game. Well, how come Channel 33 couldn't put it on if Sunshine couldn't do it?
And also, how come the news had video highlights of the game, but you couldn't find it anywhere on a satellite? What? Can you tell me why?
I didn't see that. They had video highlights, and somebody must have had it.
Channel 7 had it. And
they did?
Yeah, they had the highlights of the game, and they showed the goal, and so I don't know how they got it.
I can't believe that, because it had to be on somewhere. My satellite, well, of course, Philadelphia, most of their games aren't on anyway. They're like, you can't get them.
No, I watched Lindros. He shot that slap shot. They showed it. I saw it.
I'll be damned.
I don't know how, so I was kind of curious. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe somebody knows. Maybe the Philadelphia actually televised it somewhere, but you wouldn't be able to pick it up here.
Well, at least the important game is on tonight, right?
There you go.
All right.
That's what Rimmer said.
Okay.
Okay, see ya. Yeah, he's back up there in Washington tonight with all his old... Oh, and speaking of Jeff DeForest, by the way, no, I'm not trying to get Jeff Rimmer your job. I don't care if they hire him here or not, which they never will because he's an adult and he knows something about sports and more than just hockey, and because he had a 10-share in Baltimore. But Defoe standing there in the hallway as part of this hour monologue yesterday, carrying on like a child about, well, Rimmer is no good for this, and he's very limited, and he's very narrow. He had a crappy show on QAM, and yada, yada. Nobody's trying to get your job, Defoe, you paranoid twit. What the hell is wrong with you? My God. Everybody is so terrified. When you're that insecure that you're terrified that everybody else is looking for your job, then you got a real serious problem there. You know what I'm saying? Like that 2.4 share. I don't care what you got in men. 2.4 ain't nothing I would be writing home about, okay? That's a 2 show. Those sports shows are a 2 show. 2. Dose. Here's Deerfield. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Okay.
You sent me to Boston.
You went?
We went.
Okay, and?
We conquered. It was great.
All right.
The people up there, there is no comparison. They were friendly.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great city. That's a real city.
You walk down the street, they say hello to you, talking in bars to people all over. It was just amazing.
Yeah, and all these colleges and universities and young living and breathing people and no condo commandos and all these really neat things to see, like, Paul Revere and his horse and the Freedom Trail and Quincy Market and Faneuil Hall and, like, a city with some character, with some class.
Yeah, it was great. We went to that NHL experience type thing.
Right.
Which was a blast.
Yeah. They showed a big thing on that on the Bruins game last night on SBK. They showed a big piece on that.
It was a blast. I won an all-star jersey for doing one of these little interactive games. Which
Great.
So all in all, it worked out just absolutely fantastic.
And how was the Fleet Center?
Actually, it was great. It was very similar to...
the Garden?
Huh?
Similar to the Garden?
No, it wasn't, because you couldn't get a bad seat. It's a big arena.
Yeah.
The concession areas remind you a bit of the arena, but at every concession stand they have the TVs, so you get to, if you're outside.
Well, that's because the people who go there, see, are interested in what's going on in the game, other than going out in the hallway and schmoozing like here. Well, listen, I'm glad you enjoyed it, pal.
Okay.
Okay, have a great life. Oh, whatever he said, amen.
Emotional stability is not what it's cracked up to be. WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
Pompano wants to play. Good afternoon at 12 o'clock. This is Maria Garcia, News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.